Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tata Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Nashtike. Hare Krishna. Today we continue in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2nd, Chapter 1st, the first step in God realization, Shloka 5 and 6. Tasmāt Bharat Sarvātmā
तस्मात् भारत सर्वात्मा
Bhagavan Ishvara Harihi
भगवान ईश्वर हरि
Shrotavyah Kirtitavya cha
श्रोतव्यः कीर्तितव्यः च
Smartavyah cha Ichchata Abhayam
स्मर्तव्यः च इच्छता अभयम्
Etavan Sankhya Yogabhyam
एतावान् सांख्ययोगाभ्याम्
Swadharma Parinishthaya
स्वधर्म परिनिष्ठया
Jalmalabha Para Punsam
जन्मलाभ परः पुंसाम्
Ante Narayana Smriti
अन्ते नारायण स्मृतिः
Tasmat Bharat Sarvatma
तस्मात् भारत सर्वात्मा
Ishvara Harihi
भगवान ईश्वर हरिः
Shrotavyah Kirtitavya cha
श्रोतव्यः कीर्तितव्यः च
Smartavya cha Ichchata Abhayam
स्मर्तव्यः च इच्छता अभयम्
Etavan Sankhya Yogabhyam
एताव्यां साङ्ख्ययोगाभ्यां
Swadharma Parinishthaya
स्वधर्म परिनिष्ठया
Jalmalabha Para Punsam
जन्मलाभ परः पुंसाम्
Ante Narayana Smriti
अन्ते नारायण स्मृतिः
तस्मात् भारत सर्वात्मा भगवान ईश्वर हरिः श्रोतव्य कीर्तितव्य च स्मर्तव्य च इच्छता अभयम् एतावान् सांख्ययोगाभ्यां स्वधर्म परिनिष्ठया जन्मलाभ पर पुंसाम् अन्ते नारायण स्मृतिः. हरे कृष्ण.
तस्मात् तस्मात्
Translation.
भारत सर्वात्मा भगवान ईश्वर हरिः श्रोतव्यः कीर्तितव्यः च स्मर्तव्यः च इच्छता अभयम् एतावान् सांख्ययोगाभ्यां स्वधर्म परिनिष्ठया जन्मलाभ परः पुंसाम् अन्ते नारायण स्मृतिः.
Translation and purport by the Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O descendant of King Bharata, one who desires to be free from all miseries must hear about, glorify, and also remember the personality of Godhead, who is the Supersoul, the controller and the surveyor from all miseries. The highest perfection of human life achieved either by complete knowledge of matter and spirit, by practice of mystic powers, or by perfect discharge of occupational duty, is to remember the personality of Godhead at the end of life. Purport. In the previous verses, Sri Shukdev Goswami has described how the foolish, materially attached men are wasting their valuable time in the improvement of material condition of life by sleeping, indulging in sex life, developing economic condition, and maintaining a band of relatives who are to be vanquished in the air of oblivion. Being engaged in all these materialistic activities, the living soul entangles himself in the cycle of the law of fruitive action. This entails the chain of birth and death in the 84 lakh species of life, the aquatics, the vegetables, the reptiles, the birds, the beasts, the civilized man, and then again the human form, which is the chance for getting out of the cycle of fruitive action. Therefore, if one desires freedom from this vicious circle, then one must cease to act as a karmi or enjoyer of the results of one's own work, good or bad. One should not do anything either good or bad on his own account, but must execute everything on behalf of This process of doing work is recommended in the Bhagavad Gita 9.27. Also, where instruction is given for working on the Lord's account. Therefore, one should first of all hear about the Lord. When one has perfectly and scrutinizingly heard, one must glorify his acts and deeds, and thus it will become possible to remember constantly the transcendental nature of the Lord. Hearing about and glorifying the Lord are identical with the transcendental nature of the Lord, and by so doing, one will be always in the association of the Lord. This brings freedom from all sorts of fear. The Lord is the Supersoul Paramatma present in the hearts of a living being, and thus by the above hearing and glorifying process, the Lord invites the association of all in His creation. This process of hearing about and glorifying the Lord is applicable for whoever he may be, and it will lead one to the ultimate success in everything in which one may be engaged by providence. There are many classes of human beings: the fruity workers, the empiric philosophers, the mystic yogis, and ultimate, the unalloyed devotees. For all of them, one and the same process is applicable for achieving the desired success. Everyone wants to be free from all kinds of fear, and everyone wants the fullest extent of happiness in life. The perfect process of for achieving this here and now is recommended in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is uttered by such a great authority as Srila Shukdev Goswami. By hearing about and glorifying the Lord, all a person's activities become molded into spiritual activities, and thus all conception of material miseries become completely vanquished. Narayan is the transcendental personality of Godhead beyond the material creation. Everything that is created, sustained, and at the end annihilated is within the compass of the Mahat Tattva, material principle, and is known as the material world. The existence of Narayan or the personality of Godhead is not within the jurisdiction of this Mahat Tattva, and as such, the name, form, attributes, etc. of Narayan are beyond the jurisdiction of the material world. By the
बोलिए ना सर.
application of Vedic philosophy,
पासवर्ड
which
रिस्ट्रिक्शन करना है
discerns
कैसे कर सकते
matter from spirit, or by cultivation of mystic power, which ultimately helps the performer to reach any planet of the universe or beyond the universe, or by discharge of religious duties, one can achieve the highest perfection provided one is able to reach the stage of Narayan Smriti or constant remembrance of the personality of Godhead. This is possible only by the association of pure devotee, who can give a finishing touch to the transcendental activities of all Gyanis, Yogis, or Karmis in terms of prescribed duty defined in the scripture. There are many historical instances of the achievement of spiritual perfection, such as that of the Sanakadi Rishi or the nine celebrated Yogendras who attain perfection only after being situated in the devotional service of the Lord. None of the devotees of the Lord ever deviated from the path of devotional service by taking to other methods as adopted by Gyanis or Yogis. Everyone is anxious to achieve the highest perfection of his particular activity, and it is indicated here in that such perfection is Narayan Smriti, for which everyone must endure his best. In other words, life should be molded in such a manner that one is able to progressively remember the personality of Godhead in every step of life. Om Jnana ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवाञ्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजन सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देव श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांच नमो ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिने ते नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात देशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा. We continuing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 1st, the first step in God realization. Its name is God realization. How we analyze or how we perception God realization that described in this chapter. Here Shukdev Goswami told King Parikshit uh, that uh, if he wants to be free from all miseries, must hear. If anyone who wants to free from all miseries must hear about glorify and remember the personality of Godhead. Who is Godhead? God is the super soul, controller and survivor from all miseries. Then next sloka that describe about the highest perfection of human life and what they do. For that they must achieve either by complete knowledge of matter and spirit. What is matter, what is spirit, and by practice of mystic powers, perfect discharge of occupational duties, and always remembering personality of Godhead. All these points are describing in two shlokas. Prabhuji will tell us in nicely. Vancha kalpatarubhe cha kripa sindhubhe eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, you please continue for some time.
Hey, we know here they told about tasmāt Bharata Sarvātmā Bhagavan Ishvara Hari Shrotavya Kirtitavya cha Smartavya cha Ichatabhaya. Means in last verse Shukdev Goswami described how the foolish materially main attachment wasting his valuable time of life in only living, indulging a sex life, developing economic condition, and maintaining his family. But all these are vanquished in the air of oblivion. He, though he not understanding rightly or clearly because of the ignorance of the knowledge about personality of Godhead. We know there are 84 species like aquatics, vegetables, reptiles, birds, beasts, civilized, uncivilized man, and again human being, which we get the chance to become uh, for getting out the cycle of the fruitive action and become a pure devotee of Lord, remembering Him every moment. And uh, uh, we after we becoming a devotee and we doing the service of the Lord, then we get our aim success. Here they describing about the karmi, gyanis, yogis, and in Bhagavad Gita of 9th chapter, shloka number 27, they giving the process of work which Krishna recommended. Yat karoshi, yat ashnasi, yat juosi, dadasi, yat tapasasi kaunteya, tat kurushva mat arpanam. And which we do or which we eat or which we giving others or which we do penance or austerity, all uh, offering to the lotus feet of the Krishna, that Krishna uh, asking uh, told to the Kaunteya means Arjuna. Like that, we also every every which we doing work, always we offering to Krishna, then we cannot bonded by that work or by the fruit of that work. And here they again told that when one has perfectly and scrutinizingly heard about the glories and paraphernalia or acting lots on account of, then they there it will be become possible to remember constantly the transcendental nature of the Lord. Prabhuji will told us ahead nicely.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Please
Krishna.
forgive me. There was a urgent meet which happened. So here we are. Here, Sukdev Goswami ji has started responding to the questions which were asked for our benefits by Parikshit Maharaj. And since he is a descendant of King Bharat, on whose name the land is called as Bharatvarsha, he says very first thing that if we are really desirous to get free from miseries, then the solution is to hear, to glorify, to remember. And how about whom? About Supersoul, the controller and the savior. And then we are being made aware about the highest perfection of life, which is achieved by complete knowledge. And whatever we do, whether it is by Gyan Yoga, whether it is by Sankhya Yoga, whether it is by yoga, whatever way, the most important perfection is to remain ante narayana spritihi. Now, when we start discussing about this topic, the very first point comes is Abhayam. Who does not want to be fearless? Everyone wants. Because by material nature, we have always, it is said that we are into four positions. One is we are always fearful about position. What will happen next? Second is we are always fearful about sustenance, how to eat, where to eat, whether we will get on it. Thirdly, about rest, about sleeping. And fourthly, as we were discussing yesterday, in the material form, we are worried about the sex indulgence. So, any of these, it's always fearfulness. But Abhayam means no fear. So, if you really wish to be fearless, then the solution is mentioned here, tasmāt. So, to be free from fearful condition, we must always memorize or remember whom? Sarvātmā. Sarvātmā means one who is living force of everyone. Now the question comes, living force of everyone. So where does it come from? Krishna tells it. Bijam mam sarvabhutanam vidhi partha sanatanam buddhi buddhi matam tasmi teja tejasvinam aham. O son of Partha, know that I am the original seed of all existences, the intelligence of the intelligent and the prowess of all powerful men. So Krishna is the source of living everyone. He is the supreme living force. And not only that, he is everything. Mamevansh jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana manashashtani indriyani prakritistani karshati. The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses, which include the mind. But then the original source is Krishna. सर्वयोनिषु कौन्तेय मूर्तयः संभवन्ति याः तासां ब्रह्म महत् योनिः aham bija pritah. It should be understood that all species of life are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed giving father. Now here, sarva yonishu, all different forms, different species of life. So this outward dress is different. Some can become ant, some can become human, some can become elephant. Bigger than that, maybe whale fish, and then there's also timingala, someone a fish which can swallow up the whale fish also. Now, this all knowledge is available in Vedic literature, where we learn from. Every information is there, and all the Vedic literature is summarized in Srimad Bhagavatam. Nigam kalpatarho galitam phalam idam. So Nigama means this Vedic literature, and it is kalpataroho. It is considered as desire tree, which means any kind of knowledge, complete, perfect, any kind, spiritual, material, any department, it is available. And that is why it is called desire tree. But practically, material existence is struggle for existence. Everyone wants to exist, and so he has to fight. If not within ourselves, at least we have to fight with maybe winter, the hot sun. So struggle for existence and survival of the fittest. This continues in this world. But spiritual world means there is no fight. Simply friendship, that's all. Vaikuntha. Kuntha means anxiety, and Vaikuntha means without anxiety. We have been put into this place of anxieties on account of our rebellious condition against God. This is the cause of material existence. Krishna bhuliya jiva bhoga vanchakar. But here we are fighting and we are facing death. It is called Mrityu Loka, the universe of being slaughtered. Now, nobody wants to be slaughtered. The animal never wants to be slaughtered, but he is by force, it is slaughtered. Similarly, nobody wants death, but we are forced. And who is forcing? The laws of nature. And who has prepared the laws of nature? Krishna. So here the solution is being given that we should remember Bhagavan. Bhagavan means all powerful, all opulences. He can do anything, everything. Sat Aishwarya Purna. ऐश्वर्य समग्रस्य वीरस्य श्रेयः ध्यान वैराग्य च एव सन्नाम इति भगन्नः. So he has all the six opulences. And Ishvara means controller. Now, ideally, everyone is a Ishvara. Because even I am controlling this department, or maybe controlling someone's office, factory, nation. But here it is said, Bhagavana Ishvaraha, which means supreme controller. So we are controller, but we are controlled by somebody else. And Bhagavana Ishvara means he is no more controlled by anyone. And that is Krishna, which is described clearly. Ishvara Paramaha Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha. The supreme controller is Krishna. And all living entities, being child of Krishna, they must voluntarily put themselves to be controlled by God. That is perfection of life. We should not try to be falsely free, which is not possible. A mother, she'll never give freedom to the child because that is not good for him. It should not be given. Similarly, anyone who is weak, he must not be given freedom. And we are weak. God is great. God is all powerful. We are teeny. We have no power. So our normal life is voluntarily accept the controlling power of Krishna. Anyone who agrees to be controlled, then success of life begins from that point. So to be saved from this chaotic condition of life, if you want to be free from all anxieties, then our business is Shrotavya. We hear about the Supreme Controller. Try to understand how God is great. And that we'll find in the literature. Shrotavya Kirtitavya cha, not only hearing like dull. As soon as you hear, then you also spread this knowledge. So as soon as you become expert hearer, expert means chanter, then we'll remember always smartavya. And as soon as you'll always remember, then there is no fear. Because that hearing will help us at the last moment, at the time of death. It is clearly mentioned here. Ante Narayana Smritihi. If you remember Narayan, Krishna, it is same thing. Then the life is successful, whatever we do. In Bengali, Prabhupada quotes a proverb, Bhajana kara, sadhana kara, murti janale hai. Like you may be very big stalwart, spiritualist, yogis, but whatever you may have done, it may be good. But at the time of death, if you forget Narayan, then it is all useless. And this is the point. At the time of death, what is the mentality? If the mentality is Narayan, then it is successful. We'll be transferred to spiritual world. We associate with Narayan. We'll get complete perfection. But at the time of death, if you are thinking of the dog, then we go to become a dog. And that is why A, B, C, D, E. The deity is there, form of Krishna, Narayan. So if you are always engaged in Lord Krishna's service, you have got the impression of Krishna always within the heart. And if you continue it some way or the other, then the life is successful. So what is important is we should ask, do you know how to die? That is the point. If you die with Krishna consciousness, God consciousness, then the life is successful. To explain this, there is one story which is given of a boatman and a scholar. So the scholar was riding with the boatman and he said, "Dear boatman, do you know what are these stars, this astronomy, how they are working?" Boatman replied, "I don't know." The scholar said, "Your life is 24% lost. You do not know anything." Then after some time he asked, "Do you know geology, how this earth, water, they are working?" He said, "No, sir. I'm poor man. What can I know?" So he said, 50% of your life is lost. And then all of a sudden there was cloud, black cloud in the sky. There was storm. And at that time the boatman asked, "So do you know how to swim?" The scholar said, "I do not know." So boatman said, "Then 100% you are lost. You are going to be drowned." The boatman jumped and the scholar drowned. The purpose of this story was you should know what is the most important aspect. And the most important aspect is to understand how to remember Krishna at the last moment of death, how to die. Because if we don't know how to die, then we have wasted our life 100%. And for that, it does not happen automatically. We have to practice. We have to practice every moment. Here it is talked about Etavan Sankhya Yoga Abhayam. Now, Sankhya Yoga, there are multiple, in fact, two yoga type system, Lord Kapila and then another system also. But either of it, remember, it does not lead to the remembrance of Krishna, then it is useless. We'll end up getting birth again. जन्मे जन्मे सबे पिता माता पाय कृष्ण गुरु नाही मिले भज हरि. Everywhere, either you take birth, there is father, there is mother. Father, mother, you will get in any type of birth, but not Guru and Krishna. And that is exactly what we have to achieve in this human form of life because it is obtained Bahunam Janmanamante. You have to understand there is life after death. Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yovanam jara tatha dehadhar prapti. So just like we have changed the bodies, within this we'll be changing body at the end of the death of this body. We are eternal because we are parts and parcel of Krishna. Our eternal nature is to serve Krishna. Janma labha parah punsam. And that is possible when we take to Krishna consciousness. We follow the sadhana which is prescribed by Guru Maharaj and make ourselves life successful by following ABCDE. Thank you very much.